Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about a challenge that I gave myself at the start of the month, and it was to do 30 drawings in the 30 days. I've done 30-day challenges in the past, and I wanted to do something different that was more, I think in my opinion, more challenging because I would have to draw. I would have to draw something. And for me, it was also good practice to get used to drawing again and sketching again. So I picked up my sketchbook and I started drawing practically every night. First day for sure was challenging. I'm like, how do I want to begin this? I don't know what to do. But I wanted to use what I had and I guess what I was feeling during that time. For the most part, I did every sketch on stream. If it wasn't something that I just came to mind, it could have been something that I chose randomly or something that I played or a topic of that day's stream. Some days were a lot harder than others. Some days I just felt like, oh man, I'm killing it and I like this sketch a lot. I fell in love with the way I was drawing. And I think that to me was something that is very important, that I got so comfortable with it. I didn't really see that it was a challenge. To me, the challenging part actually felt was doing it, like giving myself the time to do a daily one. It wasn't what I was gonna do or if I could do it. It's whether or not I actually stopped doing anything in a day to actually stop and draw. At first it was a time thing. I set a timer on my phone, 15 minutes, but then it just kind of went from there. Some days I did way more than that, and other days I just I did maybe a quick 10-minute sketch, and whatever came up with that day is what I came up with. So a little bit of backstory before I get started. I have been drawing here and there for my whole life really, and I never really actually filled a sketchbook or anything like that. It was just like if I find paper around the house or my notebooks at school, I would just doodle, right? I would do a quick sketch and move on. I never really had a notebook, and I bought this one years ago and I never really actually filled it in. So this year was really more like I'm starting to do this more and more. I wanted to see if I could actually complete the book, and currently I'm more than halfway actually. So that to me is a good thing. Yeah, I've always drawn like characters and from like different series, different shows, anime, stuff like that. I have an obsession with like manga as well. So like I would read it and I love how it's drawn. I always wanted to try something like that too, to sketch and then to ink over it and then see if I could even do that. And maybe even one day make a full a full series of an actual manga that I create, or like a graphic novel or anything like that. So some of the early ones were just that. I'll do a full actual sketch tour. Once I finish the actual sketchbook, I'll make a full sketch tour. But right now I'm just gonna show off like what I've done, for the month. I started at the first of the month, September 1st, with me just kind of figuring out pencil and then trying to ink over my original work, as well as using some brush markers that I had and putting them together and just trying to go lightly on some areas just to kind of give it a little bit more tone. I had this idea of drawing my favorite character from One Piece, so I drew Frankie. Frankie has always been someone who was always just down to join a fight and join a good cause and fight for what he believes in. And he backs up everyone. He has, when they introduce him, he has his own family and is looked as a leader. And I kind of like that, and I kind of understand that. No one really wanted anybody from that group. They were all misfits. So he took him in. He took care of him. He's a very important character to me. He's this masculine guy on the outside, but when you see him deep down, like he talks about emotions. Even the way he acts is emotional. So I like Frankie. I think I relate to him a lot. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. On the next page, I drew Luffy, Gear 5 Luffy. If you know from the Wano arc, this the first time we see Gear 5. This shot, one of my favorite ones, It's just, to me, it's just amazing to see, you know, someone be so free and just have no limits. You know, he became limitless. He became this god, you could say, that that isn't restrained, and he's loose, and he does what he wants, and he always does the good cause. You know, he fights for the good cause. So I like Luffy. I like Luffy a lot. This one I drew Daredevil. I was watching Daredevil, so I was like, I kind of want to draw Daredevil. So I thought I could put something together. I think it came out okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I do like the series, and I wanted to do something from there. So that is what I came up with. The next page, I was watching some old One Piece clips, and I wanted to draw an old character that I thought was cool. Smoker. He hasn't been around in the series a whole lot after a few years, but he still comes in once in a while. I think he's cool. I think he's a cool character. He's just I wish they give him more. But the way I see him, he's just kind of falling behind with the rest of the characters in the main cast, and even some of the side ones. But you know, I still think he does fight for justice. Just wish they put more of him in there. The next day was just simple, quick sketch. I drew a skull, drew a flower. On this day, I drew Hollow Knight. Silk Song had released, and I wanted to play it. I couldn't play it yet because I had not played the first one. I decided to finally give it a go, and I liked it, so I drew him. The following day, I fought against her, like she was in a story. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me see if I could draw her too. So I drew Hornet, and I think both came out pretty good. Two of my friends, both who I met online, both amazing people. First one is birds. I like drawing birds too. Now that I think about it, I feel like I've drawn her a lot. I think I like drawing wings. I drew her just, you know, in the kneeling stance with her spear, which I now found out that is not a spear. It's a staff. So I would have to make some adjustments on. Well, this one's already set, but going forward, if I ever draw birds again, I know to not do a spear. I think I just had an idea of a spear for some reason. Maybe I saw it somewhere and I just kind of thought, oh, it's a spear, but it's not. It is a staff. So the next one, I drew my friend Andy. She released a new song, and she did this photo shoot, and in one of them she sat in this pose, and I thought of drawing that, so I did, and I sent it to her, and she liked it. So, and you should check her out because her music is very, very lovely. I wasn't sure what to draw this day, and when I asked my friend Reg, he said that I should draw a tombstone with him lurking on the top. So I did, and then I put here lies the Reg, but I should have put here lurks the Reg. It's okay, he still liked it, so that's fine. The next day I tried to mess with color, and you could see where the back image bled through. In the front, I was still unsure what to draw, and I drew myself as Animal Crossing. After I did the red and the green, I was like, oh, you know what, I can't go back now. So I just kind of went with it. It looks cool, I still like it. I drew my friend, who also is a streamer, my friend Jay. I don't know why. I think because she talks about Texas and all that, I was like, yo, let me draw Jay as a cowboy, as a cowgirl. So I did, and I gave her a little duck too, a little hat. You know, I gave them both a hat. So it came out really cool. But this time I didn't use the same markers that I did the previous day. This time I used some different ones, some alcohol-based markers, and those were the ones who bled through. So now I know to not use those markers on this paper. This is it's not thick enough to hold the ink on one end, or maybe I went heavy on it. But you know what? It's a learning experience. Now I know. On this page, my friend Sky sent me a picture. She said that I should draw her, so I went ahead and did. And that's when I started to do a little bit more, like kind of use the pencil in a way where it's softer, to kind of give it some tone, but not really dark enough to overpower some of the dark areas. You'll see in a future one where I did more or less the same type of style to draw, and you see what I mean when I'm talking about like darker tones, darker areas, lighter areas. So that little bit of practice with the pencil to go softer in some areas and darker in other ones does show, and I like it. On this day, I decided to do an IRL stream. I went to, it was like this walking trail by the beach, and decided to just sit at a bench and I drew what I saw. So I drew a tree and a bench that's right underneath it, and I thought it was a cool little experience just being out there and drawing. I had done it before and I wanted to go back again and try it. So I did that, and it was a very windy day, so that's why some of these branches are flowing. And the bird there were so many birds that day. I was just waiting for the right moment to see one so I could just see what they looked like from where they were flying. And I actually really like how it came out. I thought this was a really nice one. The next day, a friend of mine came into the stream and we were talking, and I said, you know what, I haven't drawn you. Let me go ahead and draw you. The name is Kozu Gato. So I went ahead and just drew them by seeing a reference sheet that they have, and this is what I came up with. Super quick sketch. And this day, there was this new Fortnite event where they brought out the Megazord, and it was the first time I played that event. And on my first match, I actually got the Megazord, and I even won the match too, which I felt very lucky. So when I was getting around to drawing, I wasn't sure what, and somebody said Megazord, so I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me try it. This was my first time trying to do something that was like more of a mech, something more with like straight lines, more boxy. There was a little bit of detail, and I just wasn't really sure how to. But I decided to give it a go, and I think it came out okay. I actually didn't mind drawing this. I watched this YouTuber who is like obsessed with mechs and all that, and I kind of watched his videos already. I had an idea of how to draw something like this with the lines and the shapes, so I felt like this wasn't so hard. But at the same time, never drawing something like that exactly, I felt like this was a good one to start at. As you know, I love One Piece. I drew two characters. In this case, I wanted to draw something from there, so I drew the Mera Mera no Mi, which is the Flame Fruit. One of my other favorite characters is Ace. I've always had a love for fire users, whether it be in One Piece or any other anime or any other show. I guess a character has fire. I always kind of liked fire. I thought it was cool, so I decided to do that, and I like how this one came out. It was kind of, it wasn't so hard, but at the same time, it was like, how do I do these swirls? How do I overlap? I felt like I was drawing one, and then I had to stop midway to draw one over it, and then stop and draw one over that one. But eventually I figured it out, and I thought it came out pretty good. The next day, it was a super quick sketch. I did Repo. I played Repo with some friends, so I drew that. It was very simple. I'm not sure what this monster is called. I think it's called, I want to say it's called the Robe, but I could be wrong. It gives off this like no face type body with hands, like skeleton hands, and I kept dying to it, so I was like, you know what, this guy. And obviously the Repo character, I think that was pretty cool, pretty good. This next one is a bit weird, but I asked my chat what should I do, and I looked into a random art generator, and they gave me two options. One to pick out what I would draw, and the next one would be what they were doing. So the first roll, it came out to be a werewolf. So I'm like, okay. I've never drawn a werewolf. I don't know how, but we'll see. And then the next one said in a bikini, and immediately after that happened, everyone was like, yes, do it. So I'm like, all right, let me see what I could do. I had an idea of like a wolf, or I guess like that, but I did use like a reference. I googled an image, and I used that as a reference to kind of base off it. And then the actual bikini part was more like those old commercials of, it was a dog biting a bikini, and I'm like, maybe I'll do that. And that, it came out good together, but yeah, that's all I'll say about it. And the next one, I have been talking about making a bit of a mascot, or a little character that goes in the corner of my stream, just a little guy there sitting down, or just having a little effect, like maybe he's jumpy and then you see little flames pop up, or he's sitting down kicking his feet, or anything like that. So I wanted to make a little character. I always, like I said, I like fire, so I wanted to base it off of something fire based. So this is him. I call it, well, with the help of my chat. We came up with a few names. So they called it El Flama Takuru, Furuma, or Faya. I like all of them. I like El Flama. I like Flama alone. I like Flame. Faya is cool. It could be anything. It could be any name, I guess. I wasn't particularly set on like what I was gonna name it anyways. I have used Faya already as like its name, but I might change it. I'm still not locked in on it. And I give it some different phrases: surprise, angry, sad, and happy, just to throw in there. But that's one of the things I do want to eventually work on, like actually making it real and animating it. I don't think it'd be hard. I could already picture just a few frames, like a little flame coming off the top, and then maybe if he's bouncy, that's what I picture already. And one day I'll actually get around to animating it, and I think it'll be cool. The next one, it's my friend Jay's. She has a mascot too, and it's called Beanie. But it's a little round guy, a little sprout that is not buff or anything, but I made him buff. And I thought that was pretty funny. Gave him like an 8-pack, holy crap. And some muscles, and he's shredded. I mean, he's shredded, but he's also kind of roundish, so I think that's kind of funny. The next day, oh, this one I kind of like. I talked about drawing and making like little light shading to certain areas and darker ones. I played Life is Strange, and I finished Life is Strange, and the cover of the game has both Chloe and Max back to back, with a bunch of other like little butterflies on one side and birds on the other, and it came out really good. In the middle they have like this tornado thing, which happens in the game. It's a really cool image, and I wanted to draw that, and I thought this would be a cool one, so I drew that together. I did a full page spread, I guess you could say, and made that. The next day, this one, I would like to say that I did a good job on this one. I would just like to say that. My friend Birds sent me an image because I wasn't sure what to draw. She said, how about I send you a picture and then you draw that? I said, okay. And she sent me this. And this is Pickle. And there's a faucet, and it's drinking water from the faucet. I didn't know how to draw a cat. I mean, I drew the werewolf and a dog, but I felt like this one was gonna be a little bit more challenging because it's like more fur. There's whiskers, the eyes, the tongue, all that. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? But I just kind of went in, and it came out good. And I didn't really even felt like it was a struggle. I felt like by that point, because I have already practiced quite a bit, I just went in and it came out pretty good, I would say. They said it was a perfect drawing. I'm like, no, I don't think so. But I think over the last few times of me doing actual like shading and all that, you do see a little bit of a progress. Kind of like that here. I did use those same techniques, and I would say is actually one of my favorite ones that I drew. It might even be my favorite one today. This next one is I wasn't sure what to draw, so I just went ahead and drew me as if I had fire powers, fire hair, and I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of gives off like Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. It's alright, it's cool. On this next day, there was another Fortnite collab, and this time there was this Daft Punk Experience concert, and a lot of different things that you could go into where you can interact. There was a mini game, you can mix music, pretty much there was a whole Daft Punk thing. And I was like, you know what, because it was on theme of Daft Punk, I'm like, I kind of want to do something Daft Punk related. And I did. I kind of did it in reverse, where instead of following by page, I went ahead and did this side first. And so this was the first one, and the next day I did the next one. And I think, honestly, that's where my shading, where my light tones, darker tones kind of worked out. I looked up an image and I followed just by like kind of looking at the screen in front of me. And this one I felt like it was a lot harder because of the reflections from their helmets, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed drawing this one. It kind of pushed my limits. Honestly, I kind of popped off a little bit. I only use the same pencil that I have been this entire time. But yeah, this has been my main tool, I guess you could say, this entire month challenge. I honestly feel like I did a really good job. On the final day, I had asked my chat what I should draw, and there was a lot of suggestions, but I wanted to do something just kind of like wrapping up this art journey and myself as an artist, and show just me I guess in a way. I was told I should draw myself as Link. So this is inspired by an image of Link from Legend of Zelda holding a rupee, or like yeah, it's just kind of floating. So I kind of did that. It's supposed to be me with a pencil in hand and my notebook. And as you can see, I kind of went ahead and I did a little sketch there too, from the previous day. So I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, I want to say, you know what, this is probably one of my best works. It's supposed to be a sketch, and I feel like I did a full like little render thing. But, you know, I liked it a lot, and I went ahead and I just added it here because I thought that was so funny. But yeah, this was the final day. I think this is where I'm gonna continue. Maybe not another month series, but just like continue sketching. This is where I'm gonna continue, and I'm so close to finishing it. Yeah, once I do, I will do a full sketch tour and show off some of the early sketches. I have some there that are from other friends that I drew on over the year, and sometimes where I was just like, I feel like sketching something, you know. So I just got my notebook quickly and did it. But it was always like on and off. It wasn't actually consistent. So this last month was pretty consistent with the work that I did. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That was my sketchbook. You could see in the beginning how I kind of just wasn't sure what to draw, and as I kept going, it just kind of came naturally. This was my sketchbook. I'm excited to finish this book. I've never finished a sketchbook ever, so this is this to me, it's a good challenge. And then who knows, maybe I do another one as soon as I finish this. I do have other sketchbooks, so maybe this time I do something else, or I dedicate a sketchbook just for certain stuff. I have thought about doing an all ink sketchbook with fountain pens. I have this pen. Maybe I do one that's just strictly with paint markers in the future, with a notebook that is that can hold all that ink without it bleeding through. So yeah. But thank you guys for watching. That was my journey from day one of this drawing challenge to the final day. To me, it's good. I like doing these. I enjoy doing challenges, so they help out a lot. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.